Pretty batter. Let's get at her. Welcome back to the Big Bar Press. My name is Jay. So we left off last time covering 1 through 5 of Outskirt. Now we're going to cover 6 through 10. Let's see, where is 6 on this map? We've got 6 right here. So we're still in basically the city square. So 6 is Smithy. A large log building with an open front. The glow of an open hearth can be glimpsed through the smoke, and from the hooks in the ceiling hang all kinds of weapons and armor pieces. Heavy armor blows, and a melodic dwarven rumble is pouring out into the village square. And this is where you have the twins. The smithy is run by Oaklid and Badnor. Maybe, I don't know if that's said correctly, dwarven twins from the Coomer Mountains who choose to settle down among the adventurers in Outskirt. After a difficult inheritance dispute, the extroverted Oaklid handles the customers while Bandador prefers to toll in the smithy with the hammer as his only company. So the weapons you'll get are all common and uncommon weapons, shields, and armor listed in Chapter 6 of the rulebook, and they can be purchased from the twins. Rare items can be ordered and ready in a week. The twins also repair damaged weapons and armor, usually half the price of the original, which is actually pretty good pricing if you ask me. But, I mean, as much weapons as your party's going to pick up just from NPCs throughout the entire campaign, they may not need to pay for repairs. So we'll go down to the bottom real quick before we cover the smithy at number 7. Oaklid is a heavy tattooed dwarven woman with a thick bearded beard and a formidable underbite. She is happy and friendly and likes to tell stories of all her wild years in the mountains. While she wrestled with basilisks, out-ate cave trolls, and hunted dragon spawn in abandoned mines. Dragon spawn. Movement 8, damage bonus is strength plus d4. Armor is leather, so armor rating a 1. HP is 16. She's got the crafting of 12, evade of 6, and persuasion of 10. Her weapons, hand axe, skill level 15. Damage is 2d6. Now we're going to move on. We've got Bandador. Bandador is a surly taciturn dwarf who feels more comfortable around rocks than living creatures. He speaks to the minerals in their own language, and sometimes he even sings, both to his rock and his malleable metal pieces in an ancient tongue not even Oaklid understands. Nevertheless, Bandador is a skillful blacksmith who has the respect of everyone in the village. Movement is 6, damage bonus, strength plus d4. Armor is leather, so armor rating a 1. HP of 14, willpower of 15, skills, crafting at 15, evade of 6, abilities, master blacksmith, and weapons. We've got the battle axe, skill level 13, damage 2d8. Light crossbow, skill level is 12, damage 2d6. So let's go ahead and cover the mill. At the edge of the village is a small windmill whose sails rotate slowly in the wind. The mill is connected to a log house where piglets, chickens, carefree toddlers run around in the fenced area or yard. An almost irresistible scent of freshly baked bread surrounds the idyllic place. Mr. and Mrs. Chubby Cheeks, spouses Semolina and Barrington. I don't know. Chubby Cheeks run the small village mill. They are halflings and live in an adjoining cottage with 9 children and countless pets. Field rotations. The spouses also run a humble bakery where the player characters can buy freshly baked bread for only 3 silver coins per daily ration. And here they are. So we've got Mrs. Chubby Cheeks, Mr. Chubby Cheeks. She is unusually muscular halfling with thick upper arms and flour-stained apron. She keeps the mill wheels turning and produces the flour needed to keep the village hunger at bay. She has a movement of 8, no damage bonus. She does have leather armor rating of 1, HP is 12. Her skills include evade at 12, healing 9, sneaking at 13. Weapons is a wooden club, skill level 8, damage D8. But Mr. Chubby Cheeks, Barrington is a plump but elegant halfling with handsome curls and a winning smile. He is responsible for stock keeping and sales, as well as baking the bread. He is always stressed, worrying that their resources might not be enough to feed the numerous offspring. So movement of 8, no damage bonus, no armor. HP is 10. Skills he has is evade at 14, persuasion at 15, sneaking at 14. Weapons, a dagger, skill level 12, damage D8. So that is Mrs. and Mr. or Mr. and Mrs. Chubby Cheeks. But to the top, the temple area, number 8. And that is right here in the middle of the town. A hill in the middle of the village with weathered pillars and the remains of a circular wall. All the crest stands a magnificent but crumbled temple. It is a peaceful place that exudes a sense of bygone glory and ancient mystery. The temple. The circular main building is in disrepair, but the ceiling is covered with a huge symbol. A successful myth and legends roll reveals that it is a stylized crown of the same kind as those of the milestone markers in the Misty Vale. There's the entrance to the crypt. There is a small niche hewn into one of the wall segments around the temple. The player characters can find it if they look in exactly the right place or succeed with a spot hidden. Carved into the niche are archaic ruins, which can be read with a successful language roll. Eladin, Emperor of the World, Master of Dragons, Keeper of Umdurman. At the bottom of the niche is a depression. Placing the fully assembled statuette in the depression opens the entrance to the hidden chapel, location number 10. When that happens, the ground in front of the niche collapses with a loud crash and reveals a rough-hewn stairway of stone leading into the dark. A player character standing by the niche must succeed a evade roll or fall 4 meters and take damage as per the rules on page 53 of the rulebook. I love fall damage in this game. I just do. Nocturnal visits. If the player characters visit the temple during nighttime, they will see Lorana on the first night. She sneaks into the temple area and releases one of her bats, which flutters all over the rooftops with an unpleasant squeak. She then spends about an hour searching the area seamlessly without success before returning to the 3 stags. All random events can happen here. Drawnuff's hut. A simple dwelling with grass roof and walls of stacked granite. A connecting garden is surrounded by a low fence. Herbal smelling smoke billows out of an opening in the top. Dranoth. Dranoth. Yeah, Dranoth. So this is Dranoth, right here. And this is number 9. This is where Dranoth is. So in the smoke-filled hut lives the mystic Dranoth. He serves some local gods associated with fire, earth, and vegetation. And this, by the way, is one of the first times in the book they mention local gods. He spends most of his time meditating, but earns his living as a healer. Dranoth. Dranoth is wrinkled as a shriveled prune and does not have a single hair on his body. He wears a sack-like garment and goes barefoot regardless of the weather. Despite his aestheticism, Dranoth can be tempted with sweets, and a mug of mead is usually enough to loosen his tongue. He has a movement of 8, no damage bonus, no armor. HP is 12, willpower is 16. So for his skills, he has animism at 16, healing at 15, languages at 13, myth and legends at 15. The spells he knows: sense magic, dispel, protector, magic shield, banish, ensnaring roots, lightning flash, treat wound, heal wound, lightning bolt, and purge. The weapons that he have is a staff, skill level 12, damage D8. So healing magic. Dranoth can treat the player character's injuries with heal wound at the price of 5 gold coins per power level. Clues. If the player characters ask the right questions and succeed with a persuasion roll or offer him mead or sweets, Dranoth will /can tell them the following. There's 4 different things. One of them is the first one, The Legend of Umdraman, page 9. Option 2, 1,000 years ago, the Misty Vale was ruled by a warlock named Koth, who served the demon prince Sothmog. Koth resided in an unholy fortress on the mist-shrouded island in Mirror Lake. His remains are said to be rest in a labyrinth burial chamber beneath the island. Koth was, and this is number 3, Koth was defeated by the hero Eldin with the help of ancient dragons. Eldin then declared himself emperor of a dragon-worshipping empire that would rule all of the known world. The temple ruin in Outskirt originates from that empire. And then number 4, a mysterious woman sneaking around the temple area at night, seemingly looking for something she lost. Dranoth has heard her speak in an ancient language to another creature, which responded with a squeak and flew off. And last thing about Dranoth, he's a teacher. For a fee of 3 gold coins per shift, Dranoth can teach the player characters his skills and spells. So that's not a bad thing. Now, you have to be skill level 15 or higher before you can start to train somebody on something. So it's only animism and healing that he could, say, train anybody. And then the last one, the crypt, right here. The Crypt of Umdraman. A tomb-like shrine with empty torch holders on the walls. The darkness is dense. But on a stone altar in the middle of the room, you can see a jeweled greatsword, a golden goblet, and an open book. Water from a fountain in the wall pours down into a small font. Menacing statues of knights in horned great helms are placed in the corners. Darkness. It is pitch black down here, so the adventurers will need a light source. So your torch, your lanterns, or light, the magic trick. Magical trap. Touching the sword without first reciting the prayer from Eldin's prayer book and taking a sip of water from Eldin's goblet triggers a lightning bolt at power level 1. Another lightning bolt is triggered for each round of continued contact until the trap's charge of 20 willpower is depleted. Each lightning bolt uses 4 willpower as it is indoors. Wow. Eldin's prayer book. The hefty tome is open at a page with ancient but clear letters. Reading them requires successful languages. Hail, Emperor of the world, Lord of light, Punisher of impurity. Eldin forever, in the depths of our pure hearts. Well, that's something. Eldin's goblet. The golden goblet, is decorated with a stylized crown of the kind that can be seen here and there in the Misty Vale. Umdraman. The sword on the altar is, of course, the much sought blade, Umdraman, a master-crafted weapon with beautiful, ornate, and a jeweled hilt. See the image below, so it's right here. Right here. Umdraman is a great sword with strength requirement of 13, durability of 18, and a special version of enchant weapon with permanence. Whenever the sword hits a dragon or a demon, the attack automatically counts as a dragon roll. What? That's dope. So, heroic ability. If the player characters manage to retrieve the sword Umdraman in the crypt and defeat the cultists, each of them is rewarded with a heroic ability of their choice at the end of the session. And then Laurana's Betrayal. Last piece of the Crypt of Umdraman. Laurana's Betrayal. If the player characters act on behalf of Laurana or have shared information from their investigations with her, she arranges an ambush outside the entrance and attacks the moment they emerge from the chapel. She sends a swarm of her demonic bats at the group, while Quasmod comes charging in with his thugs. Laurana throws herself at the player characters carrying Umdraman with her poison knife in hand. And that's it. That's it, ladies and gents. That is it. Well, and those of the non-binary. Yeah, that's it's a lot to unpack within the village of Outskirt. So we've gone over the rumors, we've gone over omens, we've gone over adventures, we've gone over all sites 1 through 10 and the different NPCs within the city or the village. Sorry. Yeah, there's a lot to do here. Potentially more, depending on if you decide to create more stuff within the town of Outskirt, of course. But that's it. We've covered Outskirt. Next, we will cover the journeys in between the different areas. We'll break it down into 2. That way we're not reading, reading and reading and reading. Actually, we're going to do one. We're going to do one each, and we can kind of go into an explanation of what could be more with said encounter. So thank you all for joining me again. Go ahead and like this video. Make sure to subscribe, tap the bells to make sure you get notified when a new video drops, and comment down below. What are you excited about Outskirt? What disinterests you about Outskirt? What could they include more into Outskirt? And then, of course, share this video. So until next time, my fellow nerds, live on and game on.